प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में।
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let's begin this press briefing. I open the floor for questions. Please.
So this is Soumya Jaiswal from Republic TV. I have three questions. One on Binil Babu's mortal remains. What is the update on that? Second, the other Indian there, Jen Kurian, the family has a lot of issues regarding the infos and the help. Is it possible that he could be airlifted to India for further treatment? And third, Indians who are returning from Russia, they're saying that they were given Russian citizenship and they were not given the knowledge about the same. So do we have any information on that as well? Thank you.
Reza.
Raza from Hindustan Times. Related question, Russia announced that it had stopped recruiting Indians in its military services in April last year. And yet we see Indians are dying, Indians are being injured. Do we know how many people are still left there, and why is this continuing despite PM taking it up twice with the Russian leadership?
Okay. Siddhant.
Sir, Siddhant from Vion. There has been growing call inside Bangladesh for early elections. We also saw the US ambassador now saying that Bangladesh should announce elections. What's India's position given that the unelected government has essentially completed its tenure of 2 months?
Krishnamohan.
Sir, my question is, there is a sort of rumor that America has not invited our Prime Minister. Instead, our Foreign Minister is going there. And today I have learned from some newspaper that China is also sending their representative. So I think that MEA should clear its stand that what is a stand from America.
Okay. There. Any more questions on this invitation? Okay, there.
Good afternoon, sir. Dheere Maheshwari from Sputnik, sir. My question is in regards to the US sanctions announced this week. Sir, Russian companies and around 183 vessels have been sanctioned by the US, and there are reports that India-Russia oil trade could be impacted, and some say that there could be an oil shock for India in store. So would it be possible to clarify, or would it be possible to get a reaction? And sir, one question is about Pakistan. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh, he stated this week that India has knowledge about terror training camps and launch pads being operated in POK. So, I mean, has the MEA taken this up? Would it be possible to get a reaction? Thank you, sir.
Associated question on the...
Okay, Sudhi.
Sir, thank you for giving me the chance. Sudhi Rajan from Bloomberg. So can you give us any understanding whether India has reached out to Saudi Arabia or Iraq or any other oil producing countries, keeping in mind that the supplies from Russia are now unstable? And any also comment on the way the sanctions have been introduced on the fleet?
Okay. So first, Soumya, your question regarding Binil Babu. It was a very unfortunate death. We conveyed condolences to the family. Our embassy is in touch with Russian authorities so that his mortal remains could come back to India as soon as possible. Regarding the other gentleman who was injured, he is receiving treatment in a hospital in Moscow. Our embassy is in touch with him and also his in regard to his welfare and well-being with the Russian authorities, and hopefully he will also be returning India soon after his treatment is completed. Because there are several other questions, so let me give you an update on the Indian nationals who were serving in the Russian army, and status insofar as their numbers, etc., is concerned. To clarify issues that Reza has raised, As far as, we have been telling you that we have been in constant touch with Russian authorities for early release and repatriation of Indian nationals who are serving in the Russian army. As of today, of all the known cases that have come to us, we have had 126 cases. Of these 126 cases of people who were serving in Russian armed forces or are serving in Russian armed forces, 96 people have already returned. They have been discharged. They have been discharged from the Russian armed forces. As per our available information, 18 Indian nationals in the Russian army remain. Out of these, 16 individuals, their whereabouts are not known, and the Russian side has categorized them as missing. We remain engaged with the Russian authorities to ascertain the whereabouts of the missing Indian nationals, as also seeking early release and repatriation of those who remain. So that is the status. 12 Indian nationals have died in the conflict who were serving in the Russian army. So that should clarify. You also had a question regarding citizenship. That is, we are not aware of these details. Possibly people who went there, they would have taken certain decisions of which we are not aware. So that is the situation. 126 known cases. Out of these, 96 people have come back. 12 people have died. There are 18 people who've been categorized. Out of these 18 people who are still serving, 16 have been categorized by the Russian authorities as missing, and we are seeking from the Russian authorities early release and repatriation of the rest of those who remain there. One gentleman, of course, is injured, so he'll come back, and the mortal remains of one person has to come back. Reza, that gives you an update on the situation. Siddhant, regarding elections in Bangladesh, see, our position as far as India-Bangladesh relations are concerned have been articulated a number of times. We had the visit of our foreign secretary where we said that we want to move in the positive direction. We want federal relations with the with the people of Bangladesh. We want India-Bangladesh relations to do well for the people of Bangladesh and the people of India. So that is what our approach is, a positive approach, and that remains. Krishna Mohanji, your question regarding invitation. We had issued a press release, and through that press release, we had made our position very clear. I would like to reiterate what we had said, and we once again would like to read out for you. As we have already conveyed to you through a press release, at the invitation of the Trump-Vance Inaugural Committee, External Affairs Minister will represent the Government of India at the swearing-in ceremony of President-elect Donald Trump as the 47th President of the United States of America. So I hope that clarifies your question. Dhairya, you asked a question regarding US sanctions. These sanctions were announced a week back or so, on 10th January, if I recollect properly. These additional sanctions that have been announced, they pertain to several entities and individuals in the Russian energy sector. We are in touch with the US authorities to clarify issues pertaining to the impact on Indian entities. We are working with all relevant departments and agencies to sensitize Indian companies on applicable provisions as also to inform them on new measures being implemented that could impact Indian companies in certain circumstances. Also, to answer a related question from Sruthi, our oil purchases have been and always are guided by our own energy security requirements, along with prevailing global circumstances and market conditions. So that is how we look at the scenario. There you also had a question about cross-border terrorism. See, on cross-border terrorism, we are very clear what our position has been. We have been conveying, even in last presser, we talked about it. We are very firm that terrorism, in whatever way it exists, wherever it exists, it needs to be fought tooth and nail. And we have clearly called out countries who promote cross-border terrorism. Okay, we can go for more questions. Ayansha.
So this is Anakshamitra, independent journalist. This is the shoot question from the sanction arena. So last month, Iran's deputy foreign minister, visited New Delhi, followed by an FOC. Is there some discussions on the sanction, and is it Iran that who is interested to export more crude oil to India?
Huma?
So I'm Huma Siddiqui from the Financial Express. I have two questions. One, so the Quad foreign ministers are expected to meet on the sidelines of the Trump inauguration. If there's any detail on that. And my second question is, when is President Putin expected to visit India?
Enjoy.
Sir, this relates to Suchir Balaji, an Indian whistleblower in California. As you know, Elon Musk has also been speaking about it. Have you also know about his parents asking for a complete investigation? Have Indian authorities in America been in touch with the American government regarding what exactly happened and if an investigation has been requested for?
Okay. Elena?
Good afternoon, Elena, TASS News Agency. A lot of attention in the media nowadays to the possibility of the meeting between Trump and Russian President Putin after the inauguration of the new American president. So my question is, as a lot of discussions around this, where will this meeting take place? Can India host this high-level meeting, taking into account context of India on high level with a lot of leaders all over the world? Thank you.
Lydia?
Livia Rodriguez from Prensa Latina. I have two questions. First, Indian opinion relating with the perspective of relationships between Cuba and India. In the year that both countries celebrate the 65th anniversary of their relationships, and taking into account that Cuba is a partner country of the BRICS. And the second question is, we would like to know India's opinion of Biden's decision to remove Cuba from the list of countries that allegedly sponsor terrorism, a decision that was also celebrated by the majority of the international community. Thank you.
Sorry. Let me take these questions. So, Angsha, regarding Iran, we had the Foreign Office consultations 2 weeks back with Iran, where we discussed several aspects of our relationship, including connectivity, Chabahar port, other relationship segments of the relationship that we have with Iran. As far as energy is concerned, you know that there are certain conditions which need to be factored into while engaging with Iran. Cuba, on the Quad Foreign Ministers meeting, the Quad Foreign Ministers meeting are expected to be in Washington, D.C. for the inaugural ceremony of President Trump. If I have any further update on the specific meetings, we'll surely share with you. On President Putin's visit, yes, this year we have to host the annual summit in India, as is the practice. Each year we have annual summit with Russia, once in Moscow or in Russia, any other city, and in the following year in India. So this year we have to host it. Those dates will be worked out through diplomatic channels, and we will then, when these dates are firmed, we'll let you know as to when we'll be having this annual summit here in India. Srinjoy, regarding your question on investigation, my understanding is that he's an American national. So whatever investigation has to happen, and the American authorities, I guess, are undertaking those investigations. He's a person of Indian origin, but I think he's an American national.
His parents have asked.
Okay. I mean, he's a member of the diaspora, but he's an American national. When you're an American national, American laws and American government has to take responsibility of the investigation. Elena, your question regarding possibility of meeting between two leaders. Yes, I mean, two leaders that you mentioned, they are, it is for them to decide to meet and where to meet, etc. So that is how I will answer your question. Livia, on India-Cuba ties, yes, this year we are celebrating 65th anniversary of India-Cuba relations. We have very warm and friendly ties with your country. We want to continue to build. In recent times, you would have seen that we have engaged on several fronts, including on development cooperation, humanitarian assistance, and we want to continue to build on each and every segment of our engagement: science, technology, sports. Sports is an important collaboration between India and Cuba, and several other aspects of a bilateral relationship. On the other question regarding the announcement by the United States, we feel that anything that helps in building or bringing peace and prosperity, anything that helps in building communities, societies, and countries and their prosperity is helpful for all of us. Can we go to more questions? Shivam?
Hi, sir. Shivam from Reuters. I have two questions. Our foreign secretary met the Taliban delegation recently, and I just want to understand: are we in the future? Are we going to see more engagement with Taliban, and are we planning to enhance our diplomatic presence in Kabul? He also mentioned that India stands ready to support in terms of development projects. What could these development projects be? Secondly, there are reports that some Chinese delegates participating in an auto expo in Delhi have not received visas. I just wanted to...
Chinese, you said?
Chinese delegates participating in an auto expo in Delhi have not received some visas. Just wanted to check if that is the case. And our army chief also said that there's a degree of standoff still persists along the border. Just wanted to understand what the foreign ministry is thinking on those lines.
Okay. Arjuna.
नमस्कार, मैं सर्जना शर्मा सनमार्ग से हूँ। अभी जब भारत और चीन के विदेश मंत्रियों की बैठक में तय हुआ था कि कैलाश मानसरोवर यात्रा फिर से शुरू होगी, जब ये यात्रा चलती थी तो जनवरी एंड या फरवरी में विज्ञापन आ जाता था आवेदन मांगने के लिए। तो इस दिशा में कोई प्रगति हो रही है दोनों तरफ से, या क्या तैयारियां होंगी?
नीरज।
सर नमस्कार, मैं नीरज दुबे प्रभा साक्षी से। जी, पाकिस्तान ने भारतीय रक्षा मंत्री और सेनाध्यक्ष के बयान को भ्रामक बताया है, उसकी आलोचना की है और साथ ही कहा है कि भारतीय सेना का बयान दर्शाता है कि उसका अत्यधिक राजनीतिकरण हो चुका है।
Manas?
This is about US lifting restrictions on three Indian nuclear entities this week. How do you see it, and then what is the next step? In fact, is India going to, address issues regarding the liability clauses that have been actually creating some roadblocks for relation of India-US nuclear cooperation?
नीरज.
सर नीरज हूँ न्यूज 18 इंडिया से. कनाडा में जस्टिन ट्रूडो ने अपने इस्तीफे का ऐलान कर दिया है, तो आने वाले वक्त में आपको लगता है कि भारत और कनाडा के जो राजनयिक संबंध बिगड़े हैं उसमें सुधार होगा? क्योंकि पहले भी भारत का मानना रहा है कि ट्रूडो एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन की वजह से संबंध खराब हुए हैं.
Okay, first Shivam, to your question, the Foreign Secretary is meeting with the acting Foreign Minister in Dubai. We have a technical mission in Kabul. Also, we have had engagements at Joint Secretary level, and several of them in the past year or so. This was the highest level of engagement that we've had, and we have clearly spelled out that we want to do more to offer humanitarian assistance, and also to engage with the people of Afghanistan on development cooperation. And both these counts, we want to continue to build on what we are doing there, to strengthen our long-standing relationship with the people of Afghanistan. We also want to do more on sports, and you would have seen there are several cricket players from Afghanistan who play here in IPL. Greater Noida, or one of the places, also happens to be the home ground. So all these are areas where we want to build our relations so that we can bring more benefit of our approach, of our humanitarian assistance, of our engagement on development cooperation front that we have with Afghanistan.
तो विदेश मंत्रालय की प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस आप